How old is our earth? There are people who believe and preach that the earth is only 6,000 years or so old. And there is a view known as the young earth theory or the young earth view that do not necessarily claim that the earth is only 6,000 years old, but they believe that it's probably somewhat close, maybe something within 10,000 years. So this theory that the earth is only 6,000 years old was calculated by someone named James Ussher, who lived in the city of Dublin in Ireland and was an archbishop. He calculated the number of years the patriarchs mentioned the Bible lived and the generations mentioned the Bible, and came to the conclusion that the earth was created in 4002 AD, which is almost 6,000 plus years from our time today. Now, do Christians have to believe, or do Christians believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old? Not necessarily. Of course, there could be some Christians who hold to the view of James Ussher, but not all Christians believe or have to believe that. We do not have to take everything mentioned in Genesis chapter 1 to be literally the same as what we mean of those words today. For example, what is the meaning of the word day in Genesis 1 when sun and moon are not in place, or at least their functions are not in place? We know that the 24-hour day that we have today is in relation to the functions of sun and moon with earth. Now, when that function was not there, what is the meaning of the day? We also know that words have different meanings. Language is equivocal. Language is not univocal. It doesn't have one meaning. So one word can have different meanings. So what is the meaning of the word day in Genesis chapter 1 is of controversy, and we'll be talking about that in my next video. Today, we want to talk about the age gap theory that some scholars have suggested because of the gap that they find between between Genesis 1 chapter 1 verses 1 and 2 and Genesis chapter 1 verse 3. So let me read that, and we'll try to look at this theory and we'll try to understand what it is today. Now, age gap theory is different from day age theory. We'll be talking about day age theory in our next video. In age gap theory, they see that there is a gap of time between the creation of heavens and earth and the creation of the first day, whatever is happening on the first day of creation. So let me read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, verse 2. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Now it says, when God created in the beginning heavens and the earth, we already talked in our last video. This is speaking about the beginning of time, space, universe, the physical universe that that has matter. And before that, only God, everlasting God or eternal God existed. So here is the beginning of time, space, universe. Now, when God did this creation, it says the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the surface of the earth. Now, this is not a pattern that we see in God's creation that is mentioned in the rest of the verses in Genesis chapter 1. It says in the rest of the verses, when our God creates something, it says it was good, it was perfect. Everything that God created was good. It was perfect. How can there be disorder, chaos, and emptiness and darkness in something that God created? So some people believe that before God creates something on day first, which is mentioned in verse 1, which is speaking about the creation of light, it says that was the first day. Now before that first day, when there was this darkness, chaos, and disorder and emptiness, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. What was the time period of that? How do we measure that time? Because there is no light then, there is no sun and moon mentioned, at least their role is not mentioned, and at least until we see in verse 14, in the fourth day, God is bringing sun and moon, to provide the functions they do today. So before that, how do we measure time? Is it 24-hour day or it's an age? All what we can tell about that time is that it's an age. It's a period of time. We do not know if it's 24-hour day. We do not know if it's day and night. In the beginning, when God creates, it's empty, chaotic, and it's dark. And what time period is that? We do not really know. So when we do not know something very clearly, when Bible doesn't emphasize something very clearly and affirm something, it's good that we do not become dogmatic about what we believe on those things. We need to have some kind of flexibility and some kind of tolerance to allow different possibilities, at least for the sake of being wise. Just think about different possibilities. Time could be different in those days. It could be something different other than 24 hours. It could be years, or just equivalent to what we believe today to be days or years. If this was a period of time that is not measured in those days, when we speak of today, when the scientists speak of today as Earth being billions of years old or billions of years old, they believe that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old and the universe is 14 billion years old. So if that time was equivalent to something different, then it's possible that our time today, when we measure that, could be equivalent to those billions of years that the scientists believe it to be. Now, do we have to believe this or that? No, we do not. We do not have to be dogmatic about any of these things, but at least be willing to entertain the possibility that there could be different views, there could be different meaning of the time mentioned there, and even the day mentioned in the rest of the verses. I'm going to talk about that in my next video. It could be different days, it could be different time. It does not have to be necessarily 24-hour day. It could be 24-hour day also. We will also talk about creation. How did God create everything that is mentioned in chapter 1? Is it literally God creating everything within 24 hours? Could there be room for evolution within creation? There is a view like that. So we will talk about those kind of things in my next video. God bless you all. Have a good day.